Hey guys, this is SeetherCord here, and welcome to my newest video for today. Now for today's video, before we get into all of it, I need to make a huge disclaimer, okay? For once in probably quite a bit of time, we're going to be talking about politics. Now before you hit the dislike button, before I say something that'll potentially, if it slightly makes you disagree a little before you hit the dislike button, I want you guys to know that this isn't going to be something where we're going to talk about what the true answer is for whatever this freaking issue is that we're going to be talking about, but it's not necessarily going to be on a specific topic within the world of politics or some issue going on. It's more so something involving two different types of people who kind of interject themselves with politics within the furry fandom that kind of just make the furry fandom just unenjoyable for me altogether and kind of affects my mental health. So again, cut out of the way, we're technically talking about politics, but not talking about like specific issues going on, but more so just kind of the issue I see with certain people with how they handle politics within the community. I hope that I'm explaining this as best as I possibly can, but with all that cleared and said and out of the way, let's now begin with the most frustrating types of furries within this community. Now, there are two types of people within this community that really annoy me at times that definitely have an effect on my mental health. The first one are the types of people within the community that think that everything is offensive, or that everything, or should I say most things, have something within them that will offend a certain type of person. And the weird thing about that, what's striking me at home, is that I used to be really like that a lot. I used to be really uptight about what I would say in my particular videos because I didn't want to say something that could possibly offend somebody. And at this point, now that I'm definitely older, I had this mindset back when I was more like 14 or 15 years old. But now I'm getting to the point where now that I'm 22, I still feel like I try to be as respectful as I can. I don't intend to make anyone feel like crap over certain things I said, be it a joke or be it like something that makes me feel good. Still, there's just some people within the community that take it way too far, and it's just constantly just a problem that it ruins the fun for a lot of things. So ultimately, those types of people within the community make me have a difficult time just making content because I get comments of people being all like, oh, you can't say this certain thing in a video because this offends me or offends this other person because I'm going to be offended for the sake of this other person. And it's crazy because I'm not going to directly say in this video what these people are because it's a very touchy subject and I don't like bringing in too much drama into this channel. And the problem is when I try to discuss these certain situations, it just brings out so much negative energy that just really kills my day for me. So yeah, definitely, I'm getting tired of seeing comments like that. I don't see them all the time, but it definitely does get annoying when I do see comments of certain people saying, oh, well, this is offensive that you would say this. And sometimes it's not even politics related, be it like, oh, this is going to offend someone. It's more like, oh, this is offensive to the furry fandom within itself. Like the fandom itself is a living being that breathes and has emotions. What? But anyways, that's besides the point. That pretty much is wrapping up the first of two really annoying types of furries within this community. God, I'm already getting riled up. I wasn't going to get riled up, but again, like you can tell with like my videos that there are some times where I just cannot help myself from getting riled up. I want to be chill in my videos, but I sometimes just can't. I'm sorry. That's just how I am, I guess. I'll try a little harder next time to be more chill because I want to be all mellow. The second type of people within this community that definitely grind my gears, man, I'm fucking Peter Griffin, man. You know what really grinds my gears? The Simpsons. But anyways, that's a horrible Peter impression. But for reals, the second type of people within this community that definitely annoy me are people who are basically the exact opposite of the first type of people that I explained. They represent the other extreme side of things. They basically act as if like, oh, anything that seems to be somewhat considerate of a person's feelings is seen as, oh, propaganda. These are the same people that think like anything that has like a positive female character or anything that has like a positive movement, be it in a certain thing within the furry fandom or a certain thing in a movie or a video game or a TV show, they think it's propaganda. And the weird thing is that these current people are kind of like in the winner spot right now because considering how the climate of certain things have been over the past like 2 or 3 or 4 years, there was a point a few years ago where the people that I'm talking about right now were doing way better and actually kind of winning in the political sphere compared to the people that get offended by everything. And don't get me wrong, there were definitely a lot of YouTubers at the time that started their entire careers on YouTube by basically just calling out when these people would get overly offended by things. And again, they were right in those times. But now it's been 3 years later, and the pretty much whole saga of YouTube is pretty much over at that point, where everyone pretty much knows now, like, oh yeah, those people are whiny and they complain a lot. What else you got to bring to the table? And their channels died, and they're irrelevant. And if they didn't want their channels to completely die, they had to adapt to something else. It's interesting that if you look at both of these types of people within the furry community that implement politics into a lot of the stuff they talk about online, be it their YouTube videos or be it in messaging these types of things in Discord servers or Skype groups or posting about stuff like this on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, you notice one thing that these two types of people have in common, even though they're on completely opposite ends of the political spectrum. And you want to know what that is? They're both annoying! It's so crazy because, again, not everybody who are on these sides of the political spectrum forces down people's throats, but I see quite a bit of people that do. They get overly invested into politics or whatever kind of political situation going on within the furry community, and they have to enforce it on you, or you have to go on Twitter and see that on your feed and everything like that, and it just depresses you. And I'm not trying to say, cancel those people or anything like that, because they have the right to do that. Freedom of speech or whatever. Oh wait, it's Twitter, so probably not really freedom of speech there, but that's another video for another day. It's just interesting to say the least that I don't like seeing this huge kind of tension between the two, because it makes you think that oh, we're in just some huge kind of weird tipping point in society where we're becoming too divided. Let me explain this a little more easy. If we take the 100% of the furry fandom, or the 100% of all of human existence or society or whatever, we could say probably less than 5% represent one extremist side, and another less than 5% represent the extremist side as well. And then in reality, the other 90% pretty much make up the rest in the middle. So basically, 90+% of us are not freaking crazy. We have the ability to think that, hey, maybe I might have some ideas that fall along this side, but I have a complex enough brain because I'm a freaking human being to have some ideas that fall on this side as well. And I'm not necessarily saying the people on the extremist side are dumb, because again, the human beings are complex as heck, and we can't always have things as black or white. Things aren't black or white as they are. And these people that do represent these extremist sides, they get just wrapped up in it all. And then I want to dedicate the last portion of this video to really wrap into this whole divide thing. And that is when it's going to come into probably the most difficult and touchy thing for me to talk about, which I hope that doesn't end in a flame war in the comment section. And that is talking about the news. We are currently at a point in our lives, ladies and gentlemen, where the news is basically, at least to me personally, something that I don't enjoy looking at. I don't enjoy having to see a constant amount of stuff on my feed, be it on YouTube or on my Twitter or stuff. I have news articles pop up saying, oh, this horrible thing's happening in this part of the world, or this horrible thing is happening in the United States or Canada or the United Kingdom or Australia or whatever. The reason why I don't like seeing all this stuff is because I'm someone who is a worrywart. I worry a lot about a lot of things, and I'm trying to learn to get away from that. Being in Latin America has definitely relaxed me because of the extremely relaxed lifestyle in many of these countries. So I'm not saying that you should be ignorant of the news and what's going on in the world, but when it comes to how these news media outlets interpret information, again, I'm not going to say, oh, it's only these specific ones that do it, or oh, it's only these, and these are the only trustworthy ones. It's all of them, because they make money. And I got to be honest with you guys, after spending 3+ years on YouTube making money off of this, be it, again, small amounts of money, I have learned how to advertise a little bit, and I've learned how when it comes to having demographics, be it for TV shows or news stations, you realize that you have to pander a little bit to that targeted demographic so that way you can sell products to them or keep them interested to get more views in to make more money. I'm trying to be as fully transparent and honest with you guys as I can, because yeah, I might pander to you guys a little bit, but I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to try to manipulate you guys or deceive you guys. I'm just being flat out honest. And again, I'm not perfect. If I, again, do something that calls me out as being shady, point it out in the comment section down below. I'm just trying to be fully 100% honest. So please, I want to improve. Just call me out if I'm screwing up right now. But again, I have been trying my best even during this whole worldwide situation that we're going through, which I can't say the word on YouTube. I will say the days where I don't overwhelm myself with looking at news and just focus on what's going on in the moment in my own little world right now, I'm able to think better, I'm able to function better, I'm able to focus on my YouTube videos and practicing my Spanish, and I just overall feel a lot better. So again, if you want to really understand where your point is of things in the world, the two things that I would recommend doing highly is to, one, maybe focus on the more local news going on in your area, maybe read the newspaper or maybe watch the local news stations for your town or your county or whatever, because that stuff is more so going to directly affect you instead of watching national news, which doesn't really have a direct effect on you for the most part. The second thing that I will say you should do is that if you want to try to form your opinion on something, be it of a current event that's going on in the world right now, I would definitely recommend looking at least 2 or 3 articles of this about the same situation from multiple different networks or so. Not like a ton, maybe just make sure that like however many networks you look at, they represent the whole spectrum of ideologies and everything like that. So that way, after you take the time to look at all the perspectives, you can end up coming to your own conclusion in the end. And even if people might not agree with you fully, you'll at least have the satisfaction of knowing that you took the thoughtful amount of time to think about it logistically and come to your own personal conclusion in the end. So that way, I feel like it's easier for us to understand what's real, what's not real, what we should panic over, and what we shouldn't panic over to ultimately just help out the mental health of everybody. But to wrap up the whole point of these types of people in the community of the furry fandom that I don't like, avoid these people if you can, but if they're going to be respectful to you and not be a jerk, then you can keep them in your lives or keep them on your Twitter feeds or whatever. But for the most part, if you're going to see people that are going to be wrapped up in a lot of that toxicity of just constantly going on about the bad things in the world going on, they're not worth your time. And it's definitely not worth the time to argue with them on Twitter or whatever. I've done that in the past. Some of the people that I've argued with on Twitter in the past, I have ended up not having good relations with them in the end. And sometimes we did disagree, but it was ultimately all right in the end. We were still talking. So again, this is a really difficult thing to explain without really like making people angry or something like that. But I'm just trying to say how it is. I don't intend to piss off certain people. I'm just trying to express how I feel we could do this to make things better. But anyways, that's going to pretty much wrap up this video for you guys today. I'm sorry if it's kind of out there a little bit. I did try my very hardest to make this as organized and thoughtful as I can. I just don't feel 100% that I did. Hopefully you guys disagree and you thought it was all right. How do you guys feel about the types of people within the furry community that I just described I don't like? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to me on Patreon if you want to have access to content exclusively for patrons only. Also, if you want to make only a one-time donation instead of a monthly donation, please consider donating to me on Ko-fi. Also, please consider smashing that like button, turn that notification bell, and subscribe altogether. Make sure to check out my main gaming channel known as SeetherCord Games and my no commentary gaming channel known as Seether Chills. All that will be linked down in the description down below. I need to stop trying to make these cool things with the description. It's stupid. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I've been SeetherCord. Remember, guys, keep your mental health in check and make sure that you keep yourself sane and not worry about things that you can't have full control over. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Goodbye, everyone. 7 more seconds. Hurry, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. No.
Mama Penguin kicked you.
Fuck you, Mama Penguin, you dumb damn Canadians.